Welcome to today's 15 minutes exercise, and I've been stranded in this field here next to this deer blind, and I'm gonna be walking back to the cabin. I'm gonna talk for a little bit here and then I'll stop and then I'll show you the most interesting stuff on the way home. So recently they did just clear cut on the edge of our property, which is where I'm walking here. And so we've got our field here, of course, and then we were setting up a camera actually on that deer blind because way back there's a shop that has blasting Wi-Fi all the way across the field, which is pretty nifty. But yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say right now. I'll get back to you probably when we're crossing the creek. All right, I've been walking for about 5 or 10 minutes here, and we're just coming up to the creek that runs across the property. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you remember that I actually did my first hammock camp right here next to the creek. And so my family built this little ATV bridge out of an old steel trailer frame. And as you can see, it goes across the creek that runs through our property. This is just really nice because it means that we have more than one place to cross the creek on ATVs. So you don't always have to be like, oh, am I gonna ride the ATV on this side of the creek, or do I need to go back to the main road to cross the creek? You can just come down here and cross on the bridge. So I guess that's the first most interesting thing on this walk, and honestly it might be the most interesting thing on this walk. Well, that's a neat looking fungus. I don't know what that is. Let me know in the comments. So we do call this property the Kalish Swamp, and well, I think it's evident why. There's just so much lowlands here where a lot of water collects, and we actually have cut some drainage channels to help it drain better that I'll show you here just in a second once I get a little further through all of these puddles. And you'll be surprised how much water is still on these trails in the puddles, considering how much water is flowing out of these fields down this little drainage ditch. And so my family has cut a few channels across these fields over that away, and then they all drain down through this little shallow drainage channel over here. And it's pretty nifty. I mean, look at the amount of water that's flowing through here. It's not insignificant. But I'm just about back to the cabin now, so I guess I'll keep walking. We do have this little wide open field area here, which you won't be surprised to see a deer in. So the ditch we just came from is just up behind that puddle, and then there's also another ditch here that I completely forgot about that also drains off in that direction. And if I jumped in right there, I would be well over my boots. So we're gonna kind of tiptoe and jump over. All right, we just got a little further back up to the cabin this way. And we've made it back to the cabin. I'll see you again tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.